So you are the water bearer. A lot of people get Aquarius mixed up with water signs because they're the water bearer, but they're the air sign. But they're bringing the water, the ether, because what's in the bucket of the Aquarian is ether, and is pouring it and bringing a balance from the water to the earth. So the world needs that etheric energy that Aquarius brings. All right, peace. Peace to all you light bearers out there. Welcome back to Indigo Vision, where I take a practical approach to esoteric knowledge. All right, so today's segment, I am speaking on true 13 signs, Aquarius. Now, this sign here is very important. This is the age that we're in, age of Aquarius, age of Aquarius. Yeah, it's that sign. So Aquarius is a sign dear to my heart because I have a big influence by it. If you're into your natal chart, which I recommend everybody get their natal chart because it helps you get more of an understanding of where you're at as far as this incarnation and some of your powers, basically, and things that you should work on or that you would like to work on to further your journey as being a human and all that. So with that being said, our north node is Aquarius. So your north node basically explains where you're at in this lifetime, like what you're working on, and your south node is what you've been comfortable in past incarnations. So they're opposites. So my south node is Leo and my north node is Aquarius. But yeah, Aquarius is the fixed air sign of the zodiac. So air has to do with logic, has to do with intellect. Aquarius is the most unique sign of all Aquarius. It's the weird sign, the sign that embraces being weird and embraces being itself, that really appreciates the individual. But the ironic thing about that is that it's the humanitarian sign. So the humanitarian is about humanity, but not in the same way that a Cancer sign would be. Cancers are more of like the people pleasers. Libra also has a tendency to be in that same type of energy, but Aquarius does it more from like the betterment of humanity for what it really needs. So I like to say that the cryptocurrency and blockchain and ionized water are two major components of the Aquarian age. Now, Aquarius is the sign of freedom. So we're moving into the mindset of freedom, of being in control of your life in all aspects. And Aquarius, that energy that you're feeling, that desire of that energy, is because we're in that eon of Aquarius. So this sign is all about freedom. If you look into the Roman history, they tell you that Aquarius was basically kidnapped and made a slave by Zeus. So now that energy is big on never being captive or being a slave again. And with the world that we're living in, we're modern. Most people are living in a modern day version of slavery. It's more advanced. It's not the shackles on your feet and on your wrist. It's not restricting your movement yet, but it is a real reality that we're in, where they're slowly but surely eroding on the freedoms that made America what it is. The land of the free is now the land of the enslaved. But Aquarius energy is going to be the energy that we need for us to be able to get outside of that matrix of restriction. And Aquarius energy is about that. Aquarius energy is about expansion and is about innovation. Technology is a huge aspect of Aquarius. Aquarius is the truth seeker, always looking to find the truth that will further result in freedom. So blockchain is going to be a huge part of this age because it brings privacy to the people, but also a way for us to move information and not have it be manipulated or be corrupted. So that's a huge piece that's being introduced. And eons, time is speeding up. So it used to be that an eon would last for 13,000 years. So with the time speeding up, though, that aspect of how long we're in an eon is going to seem like it's in a faster aspect, because as time speeds up, we're like in a spiral, but that spiral moves up. So the root chakra is going to be the longest wavelength, and as you move into the orange and the yellow and green, if you were to look at it from a top view, that base shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. So the time that it takes to go around in that circle is a shorter time frame. So with us moving into the heart space of the planet, because the planet is moving from its solar plex energy, it up into the heart space, the heart chakra. So that energy of the heart chakra is a higher frequency, therefore the spirals are shorter. So it's going to be less time in our eon, but more is going to be accomplished in less time. So that's huge. All right, so 13 signs of Aquarius is from the dates of February 16th to March 11th. And Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Now, Uranus is a really cool planet. If you haven't looked into it, it is a very unique planet, and it correlates directly with how unique and weird Aquarius is. So, for one thing I like to note is that it has its own ring around it, but instead of it being a horizontal ring, it's a vertical ring, kind of like a Ferris wheel. Uranus is the only planet that doesn't have a Greek origin name. It also has a very unique orbit that it goes through. It has very mysterious moons. It's just in its own category as far as planets, and it correlates directly with Aquarius, because Aquarius is kind of a loner out of the zodiac. But while it's being by itself, it's really looking at humanity and how it can help and how it can fix a lot of the problems that we all face as a whole. It's not really an emotional sign, but it looks at from a detached aspect, looks at humanity, and it's like, well, they all need clean water. Basically, we all need certain things to thrive as a base. It's universal for all of us that we'll need, water, food, shelter. And Aquarius is the sign that fixes these things and looks at what's wrong and then makes or invents, because this is a sign of inventions. So it invents things that will further humanity in bringing up the level of quality of living for everyone as a whole. And it's said that Aquarius signs are hard to get into their heart. They're the sign of friends. So apparently most people get put in friend zones, even their lovers or people who they have relationships with or family with, their wife or their husband, can still feel like they're on the outside looking in when it comes to this Aquarius sign. They're kind of aloof in that aspect, and it is hard for people to really feel like they are inside of the bubble of the Aquarius. So for people who deal with Aquarius energies, they are not being weird or being distant on purpose. That's just their nature. So that is something to take into mind. They're constantly in their head, and it's hard for them to really understand emotion. But the cool thing is that Pisces are moving into Aquarius. 12 signs Pisces is actually, majority of them are actually 13 signs Aquarius. So it's going to bring a level of emotion and connection that most people don't really receive from 12 signs Aquariuses, which 12 signs Aquariuses are actually moving into Capricorn. So that distant, cold kind of energy that you feel from Aquarius is most likely because they're actually Capricorn, but they're still in the mindset of Aquarius. Here's a quote from a true Aquarius, Erykah Badu. I'm free. I just do what I want. I say what I want. I say how I feel. I don't try to hurt nobody. I just try to make sure that I don't compromise my art in any kind of way, and I think people respect that. Each sign has their body part that they correlate to. So Aquarius's body part is the ankles. So the ankles may be overlooked. It's not something that people really are like, oh, like ankles, like it's a big deal, but it really is. It's the part that connects you to the planet. That's how you walk. That's how you stabilize yourself. So, you know, stretching your ankles out and showing love to your ankles and your feet and your joints is very important. So like yoga is a big deal for true Aquarius. Pisces is what you probably think you are. So you're probably already into the esoteric information. You're probably already into like yoga and chakras and meditation and qigong, these different types of modalities that basically bring a balance and help ground you, help ground your water, and now bring more grounding to your air as well. I feel like we're blessed to be in a time period where we're in the middle of a transition, so we have influence from both ends. So your Pisces is relevant, but that's where more your wisdom is coming from, and now your Aquarius is where it's new energy for you. So getting in tune with your Aquarius energy is your task now. You still have your Pisces influence, so I'm not saying that you don't need or you weren't ever in tune with Pisces, because you were. Because me, for instance, I'm 12 signs Scorpio, so I was very in tune with living in the energy of Scorpio. But now moving into my Libra energy, I'm balanced, or my goal is to become balanced between my Scorpio energy and the wisdom from that I've gained before 2012 going into 13, and now I'm becoming more in tune with my Libra energy. So we both have a water-air combo, which is very powerful. Again, air has a tendency to be detached from emotion. And also it's hard to put words to emotion. So you're going to have a very powerful way of explaining the emotional world. It's like you're coming out of the water, like you've been immersed in water, and you know, air and words weren't one of your strong suits, and now you're coming out of the water, and air and breathing, the breathing techniques, meditation, things that may not have been relevant before are now relevant. And you know, air, and using your air, using your mind, using your intellect, and putting words to emotion is a big power that the world needs from you. Again, there are no true Aquariuses until Pisces, people who think they're Pisces take on their responsibility for humanity through their Aquarius energy and combine the Pisces to the Aquarius, and that's what the world needs from you. That ether energy represents creativity and the gift of life. It also represents truth that is freely given to the world by Aquarius. And the picture of Aquarius pouring the water also is the act of the ankles in motion, which is again the body part that pertains to Aquarius. But yeah, Aquarius energy, people love Aquarius energy. It is that very funny, intellectual, very witty, smart sign that people really relate to, and they have a ton of friends. This is the friend sign of the zodiac. So they're very friendly, they get along well with a lot of people. They actually look and seek out friendship with people who are different, who are weird, outcasts. This sign appreciates the uniqueness of humanity and all the different weird quirkinesses that correlate to society and humanity as a whole. This sign studies people. It is a people watcher, and it brings a uniqueness of understanding because it is looking at people as a whole and not from a judgmental aspect, but really genuinely taking things for what it is and then making correlations with that information that they've acquired about humanity. Now, a few true Aquarius signs that you may know: Albert Einstein, Kurt Cobain, Erykah Badu, Steve Jobs, Edgar Cayce, Shaquille O'Neal, and Dr. Seuss. Now all of these people have something in common with being very unique individuals that stand out. They really stand out, you know, so that's a real, and they stand out for being different. There's no one like any of these people, and they've all brought very powerful, influential aspects to humanity as a whole. You know, obviously Albert Einstein, we know what he did. Steve Jobs brought the iPhone. Erykah Badu is one of the most iconic musicians. Edgar Cayce is the most famous and probably one of the most famous channelers, the sleeping channeler. He would channel in information, and I believe he only got one thing wrong, and it was due to the person he was talking to had a twin sister. She had a twin sister and he got them mixed up, but all of his predictions are prophecies. The sleeping prophet. He's known as the sleeping prophet. He made plenty of predictions, which really he wasn't predicting. He was channeling in information from higher dimensions. So yeah, very influential and has brought a lot of influence to the world and humanity as a whole. Independence is your way of life, Aquarius. So stay independent, walk to the beat of your own drum. Don't try to fit in. Matter of fact, embrace how different you are. Again, my North Node is in Aquarius, so I'm working on getting in tune with how different I am. Like even my channel right now, what I bring is not, you know, a common thing. You know, combining 12 signs and 13 signs is not something you see from many people, which again, this is my niche, and this is how I'm going to make a name for myself with doing things kind of unorthodox. And that's your gift as well. Bring to the world your gift. The world needs that true Aquarius energy. You have a way of understanding the deep depths of water and the subconscious, and then bringing a conscious awareness to that energy. So combining your Pisces and your Aquarius energy is going to be what the world needs from you. And what comes from that is going to be life-changing, not only for you, but for the people who are around you. Even if you don't have a big circle, there are people who look up to you for you being unique and being different, and they need what you bring, and they need that Pisces Aquarius combo. So yeah, I hope you appreciated my short segment on 13 signs, Aquarius, and I'm gonna leave you with one of my favorite quotes: "Be the change in the world that you want to see." Peace.